First of all, how are you?
Very good. We've been here since Wednesday. Today's Saturday, and we're still, pretty much up and running still.
And we're here at Roadburn, and you were chosen as the curator for Friday. When did you hear about this?
It was quite soon after the festival last year, because we started talking with the festival management about doing Enslaved in 2015, and he was also talking with Vadruna to do the show with them, and then while we had that discussion, they learned about this collaboration that we had for the first time last autumn, and then he saw, I guess, Walter, the artistic director, just saw imagined a complete package where we do our bands, our collaborative project, and then also curating the Friday to make things fit around it.
And for you, what kind of did you base your curating on? What was your guideline, so to say?
We only had, there was like 3 guidelines. That it had to be a band that both of us, me and Einar, really liked. That's the first one. The second one is that it had to fit into the holistic concept. And that could be any band. I guess the only band that wouldn't fit into the concept would be, oh my god, sorry, turn it off. Her du sitter i et intervju, kan jeg ringe opp igjen? Ok, hei. Sorry. How far should I go back?
Just, I can ask the question. Let me ask the question again. So, you were selected as the curator. What did you base your selection on? What guidelines did you follow?
We had 3 basic guidelines. Both of me and Einar would really have to like the band. It had to be like a favorite band. Then the second one is had to fit into this concept of Houses of the Holistic, which I guess every Roadburn band would fit into, maybe except Rowan since he's a Christian, and that's the opposite of holistic, but basically pretty much everything else. And then the third one was simply that that there was some kind of musical, something interesting about the music. You know, some stuff is cool, but it's not really suitable for Roadburn. Roadburn is what we feel is like a cutting edge kind of thing where people go because they're really interested in music. So we felt the responsibility to give them that.
And then you were co-curator with, you already mentioned Einar. So how far back do you go? Because you have quite a musical history with him.
Yeah, we've known each other since the 90s, you know, when he was drumming in various black metal bands, Gorgoroth and all that stuff. And then he was, you know, a guy that we knew slightly, not so much, but it's been through this collaboration that we really become close friends. And both as curating the festival and playing together in Skugshore. So we went from being like, friends in one way, musical colleagues, to now we're really close on a personal level.
So that I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. How did you say?
Skugshore.
Skugshore. So when did this come up?
This one came up 1 year before this again. It was commissioned as a part of the Norwegian, the celebration of the 200 years for the Norwegian Constitution. So we had a few meetings, and we worked we had to work separately because we were also both in very intense processes with our own bands. So that project was worked more on a remote basis. And only the last few months we came together and worked it out.
Are there elements from, because you've been enslaved for a very long time, and now working with someone like Einar very closely, did you take away some stuff that you then for the new album, for instance, noticed?
No, it was two completely different processes. It's a very different way of writing for Skugshore. It's so much more vocal based and not so much riff based as Enslaved. So that made it actually very easy to keep the two concepts from each other.
And well, you also were at the panel today where you discussed the origins and the development of Norwegian black metal. What do you think made Norway the perfect place where black metal could flourish?
I think there's, it's the environment is pretty much is always important because you're shaped by the things around you, the weather, and this sort of distance. It's not like Netherlands where everybody's crammed together. It's the other way around. It's like really spread out thin, and I guess that kind of barren environment sort of works well for the imagination, and also I think that there's the proximity to very dark form of Christianity, the Lutheranism, the Pietism, and that kind of. It's not like the glamorous Catholic stuff, with colorful things and forgiveness. It's all very dark, and if you make one mistake, you're condemned to hell forever, and that kind of Christianity, especially in the north and the south of Norway. So I guess that also led to when there was sort of this musical rebellion against our Christian history, that since our Christianity is in such an ugly form, then the rebellion took on quite a dark form too.
And as Enslaved, you started off with a lot of elements of that black metal, but you went quickly your own way. So how come you managed to find a different path?
I think it's quite easy because from the beginning off we were very inspired by it, but we had to be honest with ourselves and said that this concept of pure Satanism and occultism was too narrow for us, that we wanted to include, of course, the aggressive and the dark elements, but we also wanted to be able to express things that are more positive and tender, and it's like life itself. Sometimes you want to fight something and destroy and things, and other times you want to build something and hold a baby. It's very different sides of life, and for me, it's not natural to just be driving in one track. I need to have the full human experience, and that includes everything from violence to taking care of small kids.
And you mentioned small kids, and you started out when you were 13. You have become a father since then. Has that changed the way you write or approach the music?
Yeah, a little bit. It has. It hasn't changed, but it's really expanded because it's opened up. I've gotten to know myself more feelings. There's more of the tender ones and the mellow and sort of this like the soft side to existence, but also you learn fear in a new way because you used to be scared for yourself, and then now you're scared for someone else, and you read and hear about all the horrible things that people do to kids in the world, and then you experience a new kind of, especially I guess for guys, like a male sort of protective aggression, kind of very animalistic, the big monkey that want to destroy the evil monkeys to protect his kids, It's a very interesting experience.
And well, we kind of have to, because we don't have enough time to go through all the albums, but your most recent one is...
We have 1,000 albums, so yeah.
Well, you're at number 13 now in Times. What was the starting point then for this record?
Yeah, this one is, normally it's quite fuzzy. Something happened at some time. This time was really concrete. We've been touring a lot since Ritir, and there's been some ideas that came up on the backstage and on the road, and a little time I had at home. And then there was such a long stretch during the winter of 2013. And when we came back, on the way back home from the Australian tour in November, I just felt like, okay, there's no way I can wait anymore. I have so many ideas, now I have to start writing a new one. And that's what I did immediately. I had to figure out a way to work around the time problems, because there is a lot of time problems when this band is touring so much and family and all that stuff. So now, for the first time, I just had to start working during night time because there was no time left in the day. So actually, it taught me more about being structured. That was not possible to just, like when you're young, you could just take your acoustic guitar and do whatever. Now I had to be really every time I closed the door in my studio, I knew that, okay, I have 2 hours and now I really have to work hard.
Was this the first time of working that regimented?
Yes, I've been approaching that for a long time, but now I really found the form and yeah, like a very strict regimen.
And did it affect the type of lyrics or the type of riffs that would come out, because now you're suddenly on a deadline of sorts?
It did affect it. I think it actually, on a subconscious level, I think I had a more of a filter. I try to not have a conscious filter. I want to let the music present itself and so on. But I think on a subconscious level, I knew that it's sort of everything felt more important in a sense. So I think for me it actually helped a lot.